Ladies and gentlemen, listen up. I ain't here to sugarcoat nothing for you today. I'm here to tell you something real, something you need to hear. Some of y'all out here loving everybody else so hard, but when's the last time you loved you? See, the problem is, too many folks are out here chasing love from people who don't even respect them, begging for attention from folks who wouldn't cross the street to check on them, doing everything to keep somebody happy while they're sitting at home miserable. Let me tell you something. If you don't love yourself first, nobody else is going to do it for you the right way. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking. Well, if I love myself too much, isn't that selfish? No. That's called self-respect. That's called knowing your worth. You ain't supposed to be out here on a clearance rack just letting anybody pick you up and put you down when they feel like it. No, baby, you are a one-of-a-kind, limited edition masterpiece. And if you don't start treating yourself like that, how do you expect anybody else to? You ever notice how confident people move different? They walk in the room like they belong there. They ain't waiting on approval. They ain't looking around to see who's clapping for them. They already know they're worth celebrating. And you can have that too. But it starts with you. Loving yourself means setting boundaries. That means you stop answering calls from folks who only call you when they need something. That means you stop running behind people who ain't running behind you. That means you stop making excuses for people who don't show up for you. Some of y'all got people in your life right now that you know don't belong there. They drain you, they use you, they keep you stuck, and you keep letting them. Why? Because you don't love yourself enough to walk away. I need you to do something for me. Matter of fact, do it for you. Look in the mirror tonight and say, I love you. Not just with words, but with actions. Take care of yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. Stop waiting on somebody else to validate you. Stop putting yourself last on your own priority list. Because when you truly love you, you don't have to chase love, you attract it. And when you know your worth, you stop giving people discounts. Love yourself first, love yourself more, and I promise the right people, the ones who are meant for you, will show up and love you the way you deserve. That's all I got for you today. Now go out there and treat yourself like the royalty you are. Listen up, because I'm about to tell you something that could change your life. See, a lot of y'all got this thing all mixed up. You're out here pouring love into everybody else, trying to be everything for everybody, and at the end of the day, you're sitting there empty, worn out, drained, and wondering why nobody seems to care the way you do. Let me tell you why. Because you have not learned to love yourself the way you deserve. Some of y'all are out here treating yourselves like an afterthought. You put everybody else first, your friends, your family, your relationship, your job. But when it comes time to take care of you, you push it to the side like it don't matter. And that's the problem. You have trained the world to believe you don't come first. You have taught the people around you that your time, your energy, your love is up for grabs. No limits, no conditions, no requirement. And then you wonder why you feel unappreciated. Let me help you out with this. When you don't love yourself first, you become a magnet for the wrong kind of people. I'm talking about users, abusers, manipulators, and folks who only show up when they need something from you. And because you're so focused on making sure everybody else is happy, you ignore the warning signs. You justify their bad behavior. You make excuses for the way they treat you. And deep down, you know it ain't right. But let's be real. Some of y'all stay in these situations because you're scared of what happens if you finally choose yourself. You're scared to walk away from that relationship because you don't know if you'll ever find love again. You're scared to set boundaries with your friends because you don't want to lose them. You're scared to say no at work because you don't want people to think you're difficult. But let me ask you something. When did your happiness become an option? When did your peace become something you were willing to sacrifice just to keep other people comfortable? Loving yourself ain't about being arrogant. It ain't about acting like you're better than anybody else. It's about knowing what you bring to the table and refusing to accept anything less than what you deserve. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of the same love, respect, and kindness that you so freely give to everybody else. It's about understanding that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot keep giving to people who don't even bother to refill you. Some of y'all are walking around so empty, but you're still trying to feed everybody else. You're drained, but you're still showing up for people who don't even check in on you. You're exhausted, but you won't stop bending over backward for folks who wouldn't lift a finger for you. And it's because somewhere along the line, you started believing that loving yourself was selfish. But let me tell you something. There is nothing selfish about self-respect. There is nothing wrong with putting yourself first. Because if you don't, who will? You ever notice how confident people move differently? They don't beg for attention. They don't chase after people. They don't waste time trying to prove their worth to anybody. They know who they are and they carry themselves like it. And because of that, people respect them. They attract the right kind of relationships. They don't tolerate nonsense and they don't settle. You want to know why? Because they love themselves too much to put up with anything less than what they deserve. Some of y'all need to stop waiting on somebody else to come along and love you the way you should have been loving yourself all along. You're out here waiting for a man or a woman to come into your life and make you feel special, but you don't even treat yourself like you're special. You want someone to appreciate you, but you don't even appreciate yourself. You want someone to respect you, but you don't even set standards for how people should treat you. Let me tell you something. When you love yourself, everything changes. You stop chasing after people who don't see your value. You stop begging for attention. You stop over-explaining yourself to folks who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop giving second, third, and fourth chances to people who never deserved the first one. And some of y'all need to hear this loud and clear. If someone's absence in your life brings you more peace than their presence ever did, that means they were never meant to be there in the first place. But you can't see that if you don't love yourself. You can't recognize when you're being mistreated if you don't even know what real love looks like. And real love starts with you. It starts with the way you talk to yourself. It starts with the way you take care of yourself. It starts with the way you allow people to treat you. It starts with the way you demand respect, not by begging for it, but by carrying yourself in a way that commands it. Some of y'all need to take a good look in the mirror and ask yourself, if I treated my best friend the way I treat myself, would they still stick around? Because some of y'all are out here giving love to everyone except the one person who needs it the most, you. I need you to stop putting yourself last. I need you to stop thinking that loving yourself means you have to be alone. Loving yourself doesn't mean you don't care about others. It means you care about yourself enough to not let people take advantage of you. It means you recognize that you are worthy, valuable, and deserving of everything good in this life. And I need you to understand this. When you truly love yourself, you don't have to chase love. You don't have to force it. You don't have to beg for it. The right people will see your worth and treat you accordingly. Because when you know your value, you stop giving people discount. Some of y'all are walking around wondering why people don't treat you the way you want to be treated. You're confused, frustrated, hurt, and deep down, you don't even realize that the way people treat you is a direct reflection of how you treat yourself. See, you set the tone. You teach people how to treat you by the way you carry yourself, by the standards you set, by the energy you put out into the world. And if you're constantly allowing disrespect, constantly ignoring red flags, constantly giving people chance after chance when they've already shown you who they are, then you're telling them that's okay. You're telling them that they can get away with it. You're telling them that your love, your kindness, your time, and your energy don't require respect in return. That's why some of y'all feel so unappreciated. You're giving away love at full price and people are treating it like it's on clearance. You're out here offering the best of yourself to people who wouldn't even lift a finger for you, and then you wonder why you feel used. Let me tell you why. It's because you haven't set the standard. You haven't drawn the line in the sand and said, this is what I accept and this is what I don't. You're afraid to lose people, so you tolerate things you should have walked away from a long time ago. You're so focused on being liked, on being accepted, on keeping the peace, that you're willing to be uncomfortable just so everybody else can be comfortable. But let me ask you something. When's the last time you showed up for yourself the way you show up for everybody else? When's the last time you checked in on you? When's the last time you asked yourself, am I happy? Am I at peace? Am I treating myself the way I deserve to be treated? See, too many of y'all have made a habit of neglecting yourself. You'll go above and beyond for everybody else, but when it comes to you, you settle, you compromise, you convince yourself that it's okay if your needs aren't being met, as long as everybody else is happy. But here's the truth. If you don't set the standard, life will set it for you. If you don't decide what you deserve, you will accept whatever comes your way. If you don't demand respect, people will test you just to see how much they can get away with. And if you keep letting them slide, they will keep skating all over you. Some of y'all are dealing with people who don't even deserve access to you, but because you don't see your own value, you let them stick around. You let them waste your time, drain your energy, and play with your emotions, all because you're afraid to stand up for yourself. But let me tell you something. You have to stop being afraid to lose people who don't deserve to be in your life in the first place. You have to stop clinging to relationships that bring you more pain than joy. You have to stop entertaining people who only show up when it benefits them, because the truth is, when you start loving yourself, a lot of people are going to fall off. And that's not a bad thing. That's called making room for the right people. That's called choosing peace over drama. That's called valuing yourself enough to know that not everyone deserves a seat at your table. See, when you truly love yourself, your whole energy changes. You don't have to beg for love because love is already within you. You don't have to chase after people because you understand that anyone who is meant for you will never need to be chased. You don't tolerate disrespect because you respect yourself too much to allow it. You walk differently, you talk differently, and you carry yourself with a confidence that lets people know you are not the one to play with. And here's the thing about confidence. It's attractive. When you love yourself, people notice. They can feel it. They can see it in the way you move, in the way you speak, in the way you handle yourself. You ever notice how people who know their worth don't waste time on nonsense? They don't engage in drama. They don't argue with people who don't matter. They don't explain themselves to folks who have already made up their minds. They move with purpose. They know what they want, and they don't settle for anything less. That's the kind of energy you need to start carrying. You need to start moving like someone who knows they are valuable. You need to start treating yourself the way you want others to treat you. You need to start setting the standard so that people know from the very beginning that if they cannot respect you, they cannot be in your life. It's that simple. And I know what some of y'all are thinking. Well, what if I lose people? What if I end up alone? Let me tell you something. Being alone and at peace is better than being surrounded by people who drain you. Being by yourself and truly loving who you are is better than being with people who make you feel unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. You are not here to be tolerated. You are not here to be used. You are not here to constantly prove your worth to people who refuse to see it. You are here to live, to love, to grow, and to experience life in a way that fills you up, not in a way that leaves you feeling empty. But none of that happens if you don't first decide to love yourself. None of that happens if you don't start setting boundaries. None of that happens if you keep putting yourself last on your own priority list. You have to make the choice. You have to decide that you are worthy. You have to decide that you deserve more. And once you do, once you truly start loving yourself, you'll realize that you don't need to beg, you don't need to chase, and you don't need to settle. Because the right people, the people who are meant to be in your life, will meet you at your standard, or they won't be there at all.